I want to holler at y'all about something that's been on my mind for a few weeks now. And I'm finally getting around to addressing it. I was watching this brother Roland Martin. Y'all may be familiar with Roland Martin from CNN. But I was watching his YouTube show, like Roland Martin Unfiltered, I think that's what it's called. And I had subscribed to him previously, you know what I'm saying, because I remember him from CNN, and I like his commentary on CNN. Seems like he's a brother that's for our people, right? So this particular video that I came across was after Lil Wayne did that dumbass shit and, you know, basically endorsing Trump. You know, y'all remember, you saw him take the pictures, sitting up there on some coon shit. Cause we've never seen Wayne come out and really be politically active. He's not political in his rhymes for the most part. I know he did to join Georgia Bush, but you almost got to do that because of what happened with Hurricane Katrina in his hometown of New Orleans. But other than that, he ain't that kind of rapper. You know what I'm saying? He ain't no Tupac, he no Nas, no Scarface, you know, cats that address shit in the rhyme. So to see him sit up there and endorse Donald John Trump's platinum plan for the black community, it was a bunch of bullshit. So I clicked on Roland Martin's video about it, you know what I'm saying, just see what he was gonna say about it, and I was rolling with him until a particular part. There's a particular part of that video where Roland Martin basically gave the black version of Shut Up and Dribble. If you're unfamiliar with the Shut Up and Dribble shit, that's something that this Fox News commentator said about LeBron James, basically, you know, because LeBron was very openly and publicly anti-Donald Trump. Even before, you know, 2020, you know, I know he had the More Than a Vote campaign, all that kind of shit, but that whole Shut Up and Dribble comment is kind of what lit the fire under Bron to do the more than an athlete shit and the more than a vote, because these folks are trying to just put him in this box and say you can only talk about this one thing. You feel me? So that chick said that, and that, of course, that was bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You're an American citizen. You know, you have a fucking opinion about what's going on in America, no matter what job you have. But I came across Roland Martin saying basically the same shit because of the dumbass shit that Lil Wayne said. I want y'all to check this out real quick.
And if you also black and you make comments such as, we are going to be led in the future by entertainers, you done lost your mind. Now let me be real clear. I know lots of people in entertainment. I am not begrudging or criticizing what they do. But there was a reason I asked Ice Cube the question, where were you during the primary? There's a reason I asked him the question, where were you before George Floyd was being killed? And he actually gave the answer I expected. He said I was doing what I do, which means when you're a singer, your ass sing. If you're an actor, your ass act. If you're on Broadway, your job is to be on Broadway. If you are somebody who's a dancer, your job is to dance. Harry Belafonte knew what his job was. He knew he wasn't the one to lead the march. He said, I'm here to help you, Dr. King. Dick Gregory came off the stage in activism, but Dick Gregory also understood what his role was. James Brown knew what his role was. Berry Gordy knew what his role was. Diane Carroll knew what her role was. Sidney Poitier knew what his role was. They said our job is to amplify the movement. Our job is to help fund the movement. Our job is to help King and A. Philip Randolph, and Bod Rushton, and Abernathy, and Dorothy Height, and Fannie Lou Hamer, and Septima Clark, and Diane Nash. Our job is to help them. But black America, there's no way in hell that black America is going to be led to freedom by black entertainers. Because that is not what they are designed for.
Now, there are several things that I find upsetting about that video. One is quite obvious if y'all really fuck with me for real, for real. Y'all know that I am an entertainer who used to be an educator. You feel me? Y'all know that I am very politically aware, politically astute, politically active. You know what I'm saying? And no one is gonna tell me what the fuck I can do or should do when it comes to trying to be a leader to my people. You feel me? I feel like when it comes to the movement for freedom in this country, you have to have people who can galvanize the public. You gotta have people who can motivate and inspire the public. You feel me? Entertainers do that all the time. You know what I'm saying? Even at the stage of my career that I'm at right now, I have people who send me comments or inbox me and say how much of an inspiration I have been to them. How I'm an angel in disguise. How I may have saved lives through my music. Because music is powerful. Entertainment is powerful. I would tell my wife sometimes that being in the entertainment business is being in the feel-good business. You know, if you are in the feel-good business, you can make money in this country. Doctors are in the feel-good business. Something wrong with you, the doctor make you feel better. You feel me? Drug dealers are in the feel-good business. You know what I'm talking about? They sell you a product that make you feel good. You understand? Preachers are in the feel-good business. Your loved one died, and they say something to make you feel like your loved one is still there for you, or that you're gonna still there with you, or that you're gonna see your loved one in another life, or the pain that you're going through in your life is really a test, or whatever they're gonna give you in that sermon that makes you feel good. Feel-good business is lucrative. The church make a lot of money. Feel-good business is very influential in this country. Rappers, singers, actors, actresses, they're in the feel-good business. They help people escape the bullshit they might be going through. Dr. King was a Baptist preacher. Malcolm X was a Muslim minister. Yes, these brothers were civil rights leaders, but you can argue that they were entertainers as well. See, the best entertainers, the best pastors are also entertainers. Take the I Have a Dream speech. If you haven't watched that speech in its entirety, you should go do so. If you go do that, you'll see that the first part of the I Have a Dream speech is really Dr. King on some policy shit. Him really stating line by line for you, you know what I'm saying, what they were there for and what they wanted. You understand? The I Have a Dream part of the speech is really the woo-woo, the hooping and hollering, shouting part that we know all Baptist preachers got in their repertoire. That's the part of the sermon that usually make folks get up there when the pastor says the doors of the church is open. That's the part that usually make them get up there. That when the pastor open the book and read you the word and is talk to you calmly and teaching you, that's making you think. But it's that woo-woo part, it's that entertaining part where he tell the goddamn person on the little organ, the goddamn giving him a little tinkle and shit. When he start changing his voice and start goddamn patting his head and start sweating and doing all that kind of shit. That's what inspires the people. Dr. King had that in him. Malcolm X, if you listen to his speeches, charismatic, mesmerizing, had you in the palm of his hand. They were thinkers, but they were also entertainers. But it's a disconnect now. It's 2020. There's a huge disconnect between the church and the streets. Again, Dr. King, a Baptist preacher. Dr. King didn't study, wasn't no economic policy expert and shit. That's not who he was. Malcolm X, you know what he was. He was in the streets. He went to prison, changed his life there, and read books. You understand? So he wasn't a policy expert, but he built himself up into a very knowledgeable man, and of course, he was a brilliant man. So at the end of the day, they were preachers. But in today's society, the streets ain't trying to hear nothing from no preachers like that, because the streets don't believe that them motherfuckers are real. And I don't care what the faith is. Look at it. Whether you take these sex scandals in the church, these financial scandals in the church, it's been a lot of bullshit across the board with America's institutions, whether it be the church, whether it be government, you go down the line. So it's a lot of faith that's been lost, especially amongst the youth. And with the youth, they look for authenticity. They look for motherfuckers that they believe are real. So that's why it's going to be difficult to get another Dr. King or another Ralph Abernathy, another Malcolm X, somebody that coming out of a faith tradition to lead the people, because folks are so skeptical of faith traditions right now, especially the streets, the grassroots. It's tough. They keep seeing them lie to them. So where does that leave you? You left with entertainers. You left with entertainers in part because this racist ass society basically only allows the entertainers to rise up. I'm talking about for black people. You feel me? Last time I checked, it was 6 black billionaires in this country, and 4 of the 6 entertainers. 4 of the 6 come from the entertainment ring. Now the 2 richest ones coming from outside of entertainment, but that's still 4 of the 6. We see the NBA, black millionaires. We see the NFL, black millionaires. These are the industries that we've been allowed to dominate in this racist ass society. So if they are the ones that are allowed to get the money, if they are the ones that are allowed to get the power and the prestige and the political connections and shit like that, instead of telling them, your ass sing and your ass rap and your ass act, we need to try to figure out how to make those people more well-rounded. We need to try to figure out how do we make our athletes and our entertainers more politically aware. You feel me? Because Braun is now politically aware at 35, 30, going on 36 years old. But what if he was brought up in that? What if he hit the ground running at 18 years old in the NBA with that political awareness? And it's possible for a young person to be like that, because we saw it with Tupac Shakur, because his mother was a Black Panther. You feel me? So it's possible. We see that Jay-Z in his older years is more politically aware. But what if he had been groomed with that from his early years? It's important because of this. Whether motherfuckers like Roland Martin like it or not, the streets know who Colin Kaepernick is. And unfortunately, they do not know the names of the sisters who founded Black Lives Matter. They don't. Whether Roland Martin likes it or not, the streets know who LeBron James is. See, in the video, you saw him rocking the thing talking about voting. Right on, we needed to vote, and we did. But the people don't know him. You know, the streets don't know him like that. Political guys like me know the motherfucker. folks who are politically tuned in like me know the motherfucker, but the streets don't know Roland Martin. But they saw Brun out there win their championship for the Lakers, talking about vote with it across his chest. Whether we like it or not, that's how the fuck it is. So what we need to do is figure out how can we basically use that shit against them. How can if that's what these motherfuckers going to allow us to do, we got to figure out, hey, how can we leverage that into other shit and grow our community? You understand? And it starts with educating these young people. So the next LeBrons and the next KDs and the next Stephs and the next Colin Kaepernicks and the next Hoes and all these motherfuckers that's coming up through the AAU circuit or through the talent shows and all that kind of shit, we need them to know what's in these books as well. You understand? That will improve the music, that will improve the movies, that will when these brothers and sisters get this money in athletics, that will help them not go broke because they'll know the motherfucking system. But we don't tell them that, hey, you ain't gonna lead us. We don't do that because they got the hearts and minds of the people. And most definitely nobody's gonna tell me that as an entertainer that I am not gonna lead my people. I feel like that's what God put me here for. You understand me? I've been in the trenches. I've been in the trenches with the people, helping people. Nobody's gonna tell me that I can't speak on policy. You know, if you really fuck with me, you know I made a policy speech talking about education, talking about the need to pay teachers 100 grand, talking about the need to allow students in high school to declare a major just like we allow motherfuckers in college to do so. If you haven't heard that speech, I'm gonna leave it in the details, in the description. You need to watch that. Because I know what the fuck I'm talking about. You understand? Yeah, I can make rap songs. Yes, I got a sports show. Yes, I can do that. Yes, I can sit up here and do the shit like this. But goddamn it, I got 3 of these. I taught for a decade and got 3 of these from 3 different principals. I had high test scores. I'm beloved by most of my students. You understand me? I can speak on education policy. I graduated at the top of my goddamn class in college. I can speak on education policy. I've read this book at least 4 times and taught out of it. You understand me? I've read all of these books. These are just textbooks, not counting the autobiographies and biographies that I've read, the novels that I've read, the documentaries I've watched. What the fuck are we talking about? Because I make rap songs, I can't speak on behalf of the people? I can't be well-rounded? See, later on in the segment, Roland Martin went to talk about how he focuses on his one thing and he's right there with it and all that kind of stuff. Okay, that's you. That's cool. He talk about how he can't change a flat or fix on a car, do shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Okay, cool. Some people like that. And I show you how crazy this is. In my policy speech about education, I argue that most people in this world are like Roland Martin. They have that one thing, and because that's true, that we should allow kids earlier than college and high school to declare a major, because most people focus on one thing and do that. But there are people like me. There are people who are well-rounded. There are people like Muhammad Ali, who was the greatest heavyweight boxer of all time, but also was a quick thinker. But it seems like he had dyslexia. And therefore, he didn't have a lot of book sense, but he had a lot of common sense. He was very witty and very, He had a lot of intelligence, just raw intelligence. Maybe not a lot of book sense or book knowledge, but his intelligence was off the chart. Imagine, now already I saw what he was for our people, but imagine if his dyslexia had been properly handled and he was able in his early years before he took off and became Olympic champion and then later heavyweight champion. If he had a knowledge base behind him, you gonna tell me he couldn't make policy speeches? You gonna tell me he couldn't speak on behalf of the people? He was an entertainer. Now I know Malcolm X even argued that entertainers don't need to be speaking for people, for black people. But if you go back and check, Malcolm X was grooming Muhammad Ali before him and Elijah Muhammad fell out. Before Malcolm and Elijah Muhammad fell out, he was grooming Muhammad Ali. You think he was gonna stop? You think if Malcolm X could have lived on, and if him and Muhammad had got back together, he wasn't gonna keep grooming Muhammad Ali to speak on behalf of the people? Bullshit. Bullshit. What Malcolm was talking about, and what I believe Roland Martin is getting at, these dumbass motherfuckers like Lil Wayne need to shut the fuck up. And if that's how he feels, cool. Dumbass motherfuckers like Lil Wayne do need to shut up, because Lil Wayne ain't reading none of this shit. If he was, I doubt he'd be sitting up there next to goddamn Donald Trump talking about his platinum plan gonna help black people. I doubt that. Maybe he would. Maybe he's Herman Cain type of motherfucker. See, that's another thing. See, Roland Martin acting like shit. It ain't just the entertainers have shit fucked up. It's some of these CEOs like Herman Cain have shit fucked up. It's some of these political activists, I guess you could say, like Candace Owens, had this shit fucked up. They read. They call themselves policy experts and shit like that. But they're not leading our people correctly. They're not. What we need more than ever is someone. Fuck that, because one person can't do it. We need many people who are well-rounded to galvanize the people, to motivate the people, to inspire the people. It's great to be a policy wonk. It's great. But a policy wonk who cannot speak to the people in a way that the people understand ain't shit. Hillary Clinton was a policy wonk. And yes, the Electoral College is bullshit. She got 3 million more votes than Donald Trump. But people were not enthused by her. It's a policy wonk. People weren't enthused by her. Obama is a nerd. He knows policy, a constitutional law professor. But he knows how to entertain the people. His speeches. Campaign Obama is a motherfucker. You understand me? He's a showman to an extent. Donald John Trump. Roland Martin said that white folks don't have entertainers speak for them. White folks voted overwhelmingly twice for an entertainer for president. What are we talking about? Donald Trump was the host of The Apprentice. He was a fucking entertainer. And this man became president, and this last time, I know Joe Biden got more votes and broke the record for the popular vote for a candidate, but shit, Donald Trump broke it too. He's an entertainer. And this ain't the first time. Ronald Reagan, a former actor, Entertainer. Before he became governor of California. Before he went on to become president of the United States from 1981 to 1989. He's a fucking entertainer. What was his nickname? The Great Communicator. Where do you think he learned that? From his career in entertainment. So the two most recent political movements on the conservative side have been led by two entertainers. Ronald Reagan and Donald Trump. Now, yeah, you've had George H.W. Bush in between that, and you had George Walker Bush. They weren't movements, though. George H.W. Bush, one-term president, and then his son fucked up so badly that he opened the door for a black man to become president. They weren't movements. Ronald Reagan was a movement. You've heard of Reaganomics. This whole trickle-down economics bullshit, it's been around, but Reagan really made that shit hot. Motherfuckers were loving Ronald Reagan so much. They had, I remember, you remember the bracelets, the What Would Jesus Do bracelets? Motherfuckers, Republicans started asking, what would Reagan do in certain situations? For these Republicans of today who call themselves having smoke with Donald Trump, they yearn for the days of Ronald Reagan, an entertainer. So the two most recent political movements on the right, that shit was run by entertainers. Why? Because whether you like it or not, Ronald Reagan knew how to speak these motherfuckers' language. He knew how to sell the image of American exceptionalism and all that shit. And Donald John Trump is a snake oil salesman. He's a goddamn trickster, but the motherfucker entertains these folks. He inspires folks. He made people come out to vote. All these posters, they about to lose their fucking job because they don't understand how they keep missing his voters. Because that man inspires folks that previous conservatives couldn't inspire. So what I'm trying to tell you is we need the Donald John Trump on the left for righteousness. We need the person that can galvanize the people. We need the person that can inspire change in the people for good. That counters Trump's lies with honesty. That counters his bullshit with real shit. That knows the shit that's in these books, but can speak to the people and get them to understand this shit. See, when I was in the classroom, part of the reason I was able to be successful is because, yeah, I read all this shit and more. That's part, you gotta know this shit before you can teach it. But I'm sure someone knew more than me. You understand? See, I majored in psychology. This degree, for me graduating #1 in my class, this is in psychology. If you fuck with me for real, you know that I was a victim of police brutality. After that, I was found guilty for defending myself. After that, folks in the field of psychology wouldn't hire me, and boom, that's how I ended up being a teacher because I caught a break. Okay, I've spoken on that before. If you haven't seen that, I'll put that video in the description as well. Okay. So I didn't major in history though, but I put in the work, and I've always loved history. But I was trying to avoid becoming a teacher. I say all that to say, I'm sure that there are history teachers in the United States of America that know more history than me. However, I'm willing to bet it ain't many, if any, who can deliver that information to children, especially black children, better than me. That was my genius. And that's what we need in terms of this political movement for freedom. We need somebody who knows their shit, but also can connect with the people and get the people behind them. That was one of the genius things of Malcolm X. That was one of the genius things of Fred Hampton. That was one of the genius things of Tupac Shakur, an entertainer. To all the youngins out there that may be watching this, don't let anybody deter you if you want to help the people, if you want to lead the people. Whatever walk of life you're in, whatever you are pursuing, I don't give a fuck what it is. Because in these schools, we need to start making sure that if no other class is focused on, everybody needs to know about social studies, the study of society. You understand? Because that's going to touch everybody. That's going to touch everybody. I don't give a fuck what you do. If your ass a garbage man, if your ass a goddamn brain surgeon, whatever the fuck you do, you got to pay taxes, you got to obey these laws. And therefore, you should know what the fuck is going on in your society. You should know what's going on in your community. You should contribute to your community by voting. And how the fuck you gonna vote if you don't have information to make an informed decision? So instead of saying who should be the leader out of the jobs in America, or we just gonna leave it to the college professors, or just gonna leave it to the pastors, or leave it to whoever. No, whoever the fuck can get the knowledge base and combine that knowledge base with the charisma and combine that charisma with the pull. You got the connections, you willing to work with motherfuckers. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise. We need you. I love y'all. One.